nation. Just a few of the headlines here. And now special programming. Harris Faulkner reports America's crime crisis. We're honing in on one man who has had an enormous effect on shaping our nation for decades now, George Soros. Soros is a Hungarian-born billionaire, now 92 years old. He spends vast sums of cash to push his ultra-liberal agenda. Critics say he has done immeasurable damage to our great nation. Just a few of the headlines here. One calls him the most dangerous man in America. Others highlighting his effects on America's criminal justice system. Soros and his groups have supported and financed the elections of prosecutors all over America. And they embrace policies which have ushered in rampant crime. You've seen it. We cover it right here on Fox News. Those policies prioritize violent criminals over the victims and their families. Just ahead, you see the three moms there. They face the heartbreaking realities of Soros's backed district attorneys. Their sons all murdered in a city with one at the helm. Also with me to share their insights, business icon Kevin O'Leary, former NYPD investigator and attorney Paul Morrow. He has a lot to say. And Matt Palumbo, who literally wrote the book on George Soros. Let's begin with Fox Business' Grady Trimble on who George Soros is and how now he's passing on not just his money, but his legacy of liberalism.
Billionaire megadonor George Soros claims he's trying to reform the criminal justice system for the better, but his critics say he's making it worse. They're some of the most recognizable prosecutors in the country: Alvin Bragg, Kim Foxx, George Gascon. And they all have one thing in common: their campaigns received money from George Soros. In fact, a 2022 report by the pro-police nonprofit Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund found he spent more than $40 million over the past decade to elect progressive prosecutors who represent 1 in 5 Americans. Some of them have since been forced out or have stepped down as big city crime rates soar. Voters showed former District Attorney Chesa Boudin the door in San Francisco. On June 1st, St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner resigned in a cloud of controversy.
Instead of protecting victims, she's creating more victims by her illegal refusal to do her job.
A spokesperson for George Soros is coming to his defense, telling Fox he makes legal, fully disclosed contributions to reform-minded prosecutors so they can get their message out. It's actually anti-democratic forces at the state level in many cases that are unlawfully removing reformers despite their having been elected by the people. Soros' son Alex is also getting into the family business. He helps run his father's liberal-focused charitable organization. On social media, Alex Soros touted President Biden's re-election bid. Since 2021, he's visited the White House at least 14 times, according to logs reviewed by Fox News Digital. And since 2018, the billionaire's son has poured more than $5.7 million into Democratic PACs and campaigns.
With Alex, I mean, it is all over his Instagram, his Twitter, his Facebook. It is a who's who of liberal establishment hacks, politicians, pundits.
The Soros spokesperson also provided a litany of links to media reports and studies to try to make the case that crime is just as bad or worse in red states as it is in big cities where his preferred prosecutors serve.
Great reporting by Grady Trimble. We appreciate it there. You heard Grady mentioning Alex Soros and his many White House visits. Well, just this week, his father announced he and his son will now, do their bidding because he's going to handle all of the control and all of that charitable money. His son will. A political empire, 37 years old, and he's very active in social media. So that's really interesting, too. Alex has promised to be even more political than his father, which has some critics wondering if that's even possible. The younger Soros' social media is filled with photographs showing him with high-profile liberals like former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, Democratic leaders in the House and Senate, the president and vice president. Oh, he hobnobs all right. I spoke with business icon and Shark Tank co-host Kevin O'Leary about the power and the influence of George Soros. And now his son, when he comes